we often picture flying cars as an integral part of the future. However, people have been envisioning that we would already have flying cars by now. So why don't we have them? There are many reasons for having flying cars. They could allow us to travel faster, reach places that are located far away from the roads, and eliminate traffic jams and congestion. Unfortunately, there are many technological problems we need to solve in order to create a functional flying car. In sci-fi movies, flying cars are always portrayed as regular cars that can levitate using technology that can push the car up without exerting any visible force on the ground. In reality, this concept is impossible. Any force lifting the car up will also act on something below it. This influence will always be negative since many everyday objects are not designed for any additional load. However, this problem can theoretically be solved by distributing the load. Additionally, we do not have the kind of technology that would allow us to lift the car in the air without using reactive propulsion. The closest thing we have are electromagnets that can allow objects to levitate close to the ground. This technology has its own applications, but it is not the same as flying cars since it requires extensive ground infrastructure and only lifts the car slightly. In general, the idea of using electric or magnetic fields to make cars fly is an interesting concept. However, there are many issues with that idea. First of all, these fields will interfere with many electronic devices and metal objects, making this technology impractical. Another problem is that it would require ground infrastructure to generate these fields. Lastly, it is hard to create an electric or magnetic field strong enough to keep the car in the air far away from the source. Yet, out of any other options, electromagnetism looks the most promising for creating a car that does not need to blow air down to fly. Options like anti-gravity are not realistic since they would require a much deeper understanding of fundamental physics than we have now to even prove or disprove their existence. The only technologies that we currently have for making cars fly are wings, propeller engines, jet engines, rocket engines, dirigibles, and their variations. In recent years, there have been many stories about new concepts for flying cars. However, none of them have become popular, and there are many reasons for this. Many of these concepts look more like oversized drones, cars with wings, or planes that look like cars. Regular helicopters work much better than such drones. Helicopters have been improved over the years and are much more efficient and safer than any large drone. A drone that can carry a human has the same problems as a helicopter, in addition to many additional problems associated with safety and efficiency. Furthermore, cars with wings are inefficient, unreliable, and unsafe. They are usually foldable planes that look like cars. They are bad as cars since they are too expensive to crash on the road and are much bigger than a normal car. And they are bad as planes since they still require a runway to take off and have worse aerodynamics and flight range, in addition to being more unsafe due to their complex wing structure. Thus, none of these flying cars are good enough to substitute existing specialized transport. Another kind of technology that can help create flying cars is dirigibles. They have a density that is lower than air, which allows them to fly. However, they need to be large to achieve that. Therefore, they will be very noticeable in the sky and require a lot of space on the ground for landing and takeoff. In addition, they are slow and have poor maneuverability due to their size. All these factors mean that they cannot be used as personal air transport. It might seem impossible to create a flying car. However, I would say that we have the technology necessary to make something similar. This new method of transportation should be better than a helicopter in order to be successful. In particular, it should have about the same range and velocity. But it should also be safer and quieter than a helicopter. Removing rotor blades will allow this new kind of transport to land in small areas with many obstacles. This will improve safety, as helicopter blades are the primary cause of most helicopter incidents on the ground. To do this, we can use a type of turbojet engine. Using the afterburning turbofan engine is the best idea, since the afterburner will add enough power to lift the vehicle vertically, and then we can take advantage of the efficiency of the turbofan engine for horizontal flight. This aircraft should have as few engines as possible, since maintaining a jet engine is extremely expensive. Preferably, it should include just one engine. Furthermore, its fuselage will need to have a special shape in order to generate lift in horizontal flight. It might also need extendable wings for higher efficiency. The engine will need to change from a vertical position to a horizontal position for different phases of the flight. This vehicle will also need to be extremely lightweight and preferably made of carbon fiber. The vertical to horizontal flight transition is very important for this kind of transport, as it will allow the vehicle to take off and land in small areas with many obstacles while maintaining high efficiency in horizontal flight. It will be possible to attach wheels for driving on the road in order to get to the destination from the point of landing if there are too many obstacles at the point of arrival. This vehicle will be the size of a small bus, since all these components require a lot of space. This model demonstrates what this flying car might look like. There are two main problems with this concept: noise and price. The issue of noise is very complex and requires a lot of research to develop a jet engine that either does not produce noise or has a device that can silence it. The issue with cost can be solved by scaling up the maintenance and production facilities and refining the logistics. However, even with that, the costs will be too high to make it a personal vehicle. The most logical way to make it work is to make it a service similar to Uber, where people use it when they need to get to a different city or area quickly, while using other types of transportation to get around the area where they live. Thus, flying cars are possible today. However, not in the way we imagine them. Even if we were able to make them the same way as in the sci-fi movies, they would not be a perfect mode of transportation. Having several thousand fast flying cars above your head is not ideal. They will cover the whole sky and will be very dangerous for people on the ground in case of a crash. Thank you for watching. Please like and subscribe.